Go ahead.
What?
Bob.
Yeah. Well, Atlanta, obviously the pass rush and really aggressive and all of that. What's the biggest challenge there?
Yeah, they do. They do have a really nice rush. Obviously Claiborne coming off the game that he had, and he's up to 8 sacks now. Beasley. They have a really nice front. I think they do a great job of containing the quarterback and really just compressing the pocket. And I guess the really good thing for them is they don't have to always add extra rushers. They can do that with 4. So we know that we're gonna have to block 4 rushers. Obviously, there's other times that they'll be pressuring, but most of the time they bring 4, and it's going to be on us to be able to handle those 4 with the tenacity that they bring, it, the crushing of the pocket that they like to do. So whoever we end up having up front, that's going to be a challenge for us.
This last year, but going against Dan, and you guys had 2 years of going against each other out here every day doing that. I mean, does that play into it at all, or how does that?
There's been so much time and games and things that have gone by. Really, we go by what's on the tape. I mean, it's always fun to see guys like DQ and to come back and be able to maybe talk to him for a minute in pregame, those kind of things. But as far as the game and the X's and O's, we see that from week in, week out on the tape.
Encouraging has it been when being in that Jimmy Graham in the red zone, that just the connection between him and Russ, and 6 touchdowns in the last 5 games?
Yeah, it's something that we've obviously worked on for a long time. We've worked long and hard at it, and it's great to see it coming to life. So we need to continue to still get those opportunities, and if they're there, we'll be able to take them.
How much of what Atlanta does is what Dan did with the Seahawks here?
Yeah, there's definitely similarities. I wouldn't say it's 100% of what we do. There's obviously he puts his own flavor into things, and Marquand, who's leading it over there, puts his flavor into it. But I think generally the scheme is our stuff, but they have some changes that they've made.
How do you get this running game going, mix Mike Davis in at this point? What do you still need to find?
Well, I mean, we keep working at it. That's all we can do is we come out here every day. We put a plan together, and then we work it in practice, and just continue to work at it. And it's whether it's the couple moving parts this week that's up front, moving parts in the backfield as well. We just have to continue to work it to get it in concert, so that the combinations with the line, that the backs are seeing it as well, and can just continue to do it. It's not something that you ever want to abandon. Become very one-dimensional that way. So it's in us, and we like to run, and we'll continue to do it because it helps set up other things in our offense. But we're doing other things really well right now. So the point is to win the game and score points. And so whatever we need to do, we'll do that.
Is there a bit of a disconnect there right now with how backs are reading the line and finding that right fit at the time being?
I wouldn't say there's necessarily a disconnect as much as there's just been a lot of moving parts. Different guys have been in and out of the lineup. We've played a lot of different backs. There's been different shufflings of the offensive line as well. So, there's just it's kind of the same rapport that you're trying to get with the quarterbacks and the receivers. You're trying to get with the offensive line and the running backs, and being able to, if you were able to have a consistent runner, and then obviously as much as you can consistent O-line, then they get that feel for one another, and they see the combinations, they feel the combinations, they know how this player comes off on the backside or whatnot, and know when to put their foot down or know when to ride it.
Does Eddie go back to being the first option?
Well, he's got to make it through the week. He got a little bit of reps out here today in practice and has to make it through the week.
Is there a certain amount of games or reps that a running back needs to get that rhythm with the offense in terms of how they're blocking? Like, is there a criteria you use, or just the success is what you use?
Yeah, I don't know if there's he needs 10 looks at those before it starts to roll. I wouldn't. I don't think we've ever put a number on it like that. But obviously, you've seen backs. The more that they get the ball, the more they start to feel, and as well as not only do they get a feel, but the offensive line is usually imposing their will more. Guys are getting fatigued more. And so earlier in the game, your 1s and 2s, and then they become 3s and 4s, and then they become, 5, 6, and explosive runs later in the game. And so I just think that constantness is something that really helps you. And then, obviously the backs being able to see it that way as well.
Was Russell's play to Doug last week exactly how you do it out?
Not exactly. Close, but not exactly, no.
One spin in there?
Yeah, exactly.
Another play that he made that you just sort of...
Yeah, you marvel at those plays. We know that Russell's a special guy, and he has those special plays in him. I think he's really uncanny with his scrambling ability and has feels for how he's setting those guys up. He kind of knows what he's doing. you know, then you want to be really good, you want to be really lucky, you know, and he's got both. You know, he's got the lucky horseshoe at times, which, you know, you got to have that. And I think as well, our guys continue to work. I think it's really important as you watch the tape, you know, watch those receivers and watch their first and second and third move as Russell's doing his moves, that they're making their moves and trying to get themselves open. And if you're open, stay open kind of thing too. And Doug was able to do that. And I mean, Doug made a phenomenal play as well, you know, so it wasn't just Russ. I mean, him jumping up there and catching that ball was a heck of a play as well.
You feel like Russell and Jimmy are finally kind of finding that connection down near the goal line a little bit more consistent?
Well, we like what's going on. Yeah, we like what's going on. Obviously, you have to continue to work on it, continue to groove it. It's kind of taken this long to get it to come to life, and we'll just keep doing it as much as we can. But obviously, the defense dictates that as well. So we'll just keep, you know, doing the things that we can do to try to get that done.
What were your impressions of Mike Davis in the preseason?
Well, we thought that he did a nice job. You know, he's a nice catcher out of the backfield. Does a great job with that. He was seeing things well. I think I can remember a specific one where we were backed up and he ended up bouncing out to the left side and ended up having a big gain. So he's got the quickness. Obviously, he's got decent stature to him for be able to, you know, take some hits as he goes in there. He's got really nice feet. He made a couple nice cuts out here today. So, you know, another guy to give a good opportunity to.
Russell's accounting for a lot of the yards, whether it's running or throwing. Is that something sustainable for him?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is it concerning though that he is just producing everything?
Well, I would say he's producing everything. I mean, the other guys on the other end got to do their job as well. You know, and I mean, like I said, whatever we need to do to be able to win the game, whether it's running, throwing, you know, any other parts of the game that you can think of, that's what we have to do. So if it's relying on Russell in the passing game right now, we'll do that. We're not going to abandon the run game. We're going to continue to do that because, like I said, it helps us do other things as well.
Anything else?
All right, thanks.